What's going on, vibers? It's your boy J.S. Vaughn. And guess what, y'all? We back with another one, y'all. Today we're going to do things a little bit different today. You know what I mean? Just testing the waters out a little bit. Because every time I try to do a Dave track and whatnot, it gets blocked and whatnot. I don't know why it gets blocked, but it gets blocked. So I was like, this time I got to do it a little bit different. So bear with me. The name of the track is called Question Time, and it's by your boy Dave, you know what I mean? So let's jump right into it.
Question for the new Prime Minister. How do you have a heart so sinister? How are we so wasteful when people are dying in Somalia, Afghanistan?
Yo, man, this dude is coming out on top. He's like, yo, man, question for the new Prime Minister. Let me rewind that one time.
Question for the new Prime Minister. How do you have a heart so sinister? How are we so wasteful when
He said, how we so wasteful? How you have a heart so sinister? How you so wasteful when we have people dying in what part?
people are dying in Somalia, Afghanistan, Egypt, Libya?
And he said Afghanistan, Somalia, Egypt. You know what I mean? All these places, people are dying and starving and shit. Let's go.
The irony is we have no business in Syria, but kids are getting killed for all the business in Syria, and then they try and...
He said, yo, man, the realness, man, we have no business in Syria, but meanwhile, our kids getting killed up in Syria, you know what I mean? So he's just basically saying, like, yo, we doing business with people in places that we don't even belong and whatnot, and due to the fact that we doing business like that, our kids is freaking dying unjustly, you know what I mean?
Tell you that it's ISIS, in their attempts at killing it. How many civilians died? So what's the difference between us and them? When you got drones killing kids just touching 10, then when a bomb...
That's even worse, man. You got drones killing kids. I feel like that's the new war is the most savage type of war ever, because at the end of the day, more savage in cowardness, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you're not even in the battlefield, you know what I mean? You got the droids accomplishing the shit that you freaking doing and whatnot, and a lot of times that's a robot and whatnot, so they don't actually see the civilians as civilians. You just see enemy and you on the other side, you know what I mean? So it's like really unjust. Let's go.
And then they try and tell you that it's ISIS, in their attempts at killing it. How many civilians died? So what's the difference between us and them? When you got drones killing kids just touching 10, then when a bomb goes off, every politician's lost like that last strike. It didn't kill 100 men. You ain't the same as them, but all that fuel...
Wow, man, that like that last strike didn't kill 100 men. This dude talking about some powerful movement shit right here, man. I'm respecting where he coming at with this, man. Let's go.
For the fires, what you gave to them, and what you take from them. All my life, I know my mum's been working in and out of nursing, struggling, hurting. I just find it fucked.
And now he's talking about the personal things and whatnot. All his life, his mom been struggling, working. You know what I mean? Survived, trying to put the ends into her pockets, you know what I mean, trying to raise a family. A lot of times that's what we have to do, you know what I mean? Let's go.
That the government is struggling to care for a person that cares for a person. So where's the discussion on wages and budgets, how they made them redundant? When I was a young'un, the letters in our car said my mum was overdraft, but somehow I still had dinner money in my pocket. And even the little things like...
Hold up, you rewind that for a second.
Discussion on wages and budgets, how they made them redundant. When I was a young'un, the letters in our car said my mum was overdraft, but somehow I still had dinner money in my pocket. And even a little...
Yo, man, the letter said his mom was overdrawn, but he still had money to feed his pockets and shit, you know what I mean? I'm trying to figure out what he mean by that, yo. have money for the pockets. Let me rewind that a little.
Discussion on wages and budgets, how they made them redundant. When I was a young'un, the letters in our car said my mum was overdraft, but somehow I still had dinner money in my pocket, and even the little things like ordering pizza.
You see that? I think. Hold on, let me play a little bit.
But probably the reason for overtime in the evening, 5 till 10, 6 hours of sleeping for 22 years. My mum was doing it cleaning.
So he just basically saying on some real shit. His mom, looks like his mom was working. His mom was working off the books and whatnot. She always made a point for him to have something to eat, and she was hustling to support him and all his needs and whatnot. So the bank account was on the negative side, but just as long as her son was being taken care of well, you know what I mean? And that's all that really truly mattered to her, you know what I mean? And honestly, man, that's one of the sacrifices we make all the time as parents, you know what I mean? We have to take care of our kids first, so we sacrifice our well-being for our kids and whatnot. And that's basically what he's showing that his mom did for him in when he was growing up, and the fact that the government wasn't, you know, it wasn't as present.
Dreaming that our kids would have a better life. But probably the reason for overtime in the evening, 5 till 10, 6 hours of sleeping for 22 years. My mum was doing it cleaning, dreaming that our kids would have a better life. Going bed at night, struggling.
See, I told you. I like being right. My bad, man. I like being right, yo. Like when I'm vibing to something that's overseas and whatnot, and I'm catching the slang and shit, and I'm catching the message that's coming out of it, it makes me feel good. You know what I mean? That's it, yo. Let's go.
Then we're getting by. That's the reality for millions of people in a nation where a lot of us were looking for a second try. A question for.
Yeah, and he says it's a lot. And I think what he means by like it's like that for a lot of people in a nation where people trying to look for their second tries, because I mean, like at the end of the day, I think he lives in UK and whatnot, and he's just basically saying like, yo, everybody usually comes out from different countries trying to make a better life for themselves and whatnot. So that's like a second try and whatnot. And so I like the freaking energy coming out of it and whatnot, because he's expressing something that I know very firmly and whatnot, because my family came here from Haiti and whatnot, and we came here to make a better life and whatnot, which we are really accomplishing. So it's definitely I like that energy, you know what I mean? Let's go.
The new Prime Minister, and please tell me if I'm being narrow-minded, but how do we spend so much money on defence and weapons to wage war when the NHS is dying, bursting at the seams? And what about the people that voted for us to leave for the money that it would seem? 350 million we give to the EU every week that our health service needs. But now the politicians got what they wanted. Can you see an empty promise or a poster on the street? Nurses in tears because they're working every hour of the week and they still don't have the money that they need.
Word, man, you talking real shit, man. You know what I mean? And that's what's sad about it, man. All the shit that he's talking about is true over there, and it's true worldwide. You know what I mean? These type of things happen all the time because like people make the wrong decisions on how to use the money to support the freaking the people that live in the government. You know what I mean? And it's sad, you know what I mean? But these things happen almost every freaking day, you know what I mean? Let's go.
The heart of the nation to its knees. Politicians got what they wanted. Can you see an empty promise or a poster on the street? Nurses in tears because they're working every hour of the week and they still don't have the money that they need. Brought the heart of the nation to its knees. Underpaid, understaffed, overworked and overseen by people who can't ever understand how it feels to live life like you and me. Patients lying in the corridors because doctors can't even find a bed for them to sleep. I remember
man, that's crazy, man. Patients lying in the corridor, doctors can't even find a bed for them to lay in. Damn, man.
Seen by people who can't ever understand how it feels to live life like you and me. Patients lying in the corridors because doctors can't even find a bed for them to sleep. I remember A&E and all them sickening screams.
Bed for them to sleep. My bad. Got that wrong. I just wanted to freaking replay.
Of a little girl waiting for a surgeon to be seen. Privatized healthcare, guns for police, increased uni fees. Is this what they're selling us? Or let me remind you, just in case you've forgotten, that we live in Great Britain, not in Donald Trump's America. Speaking of a...
Man, he's making that comparison, man. We live in Great Britain, not in Donald Trump's America. And they got, I mean, and the video is well done too, you know what I mean? I'm watching the video right now as I talk. I wish I could play it, you know what I mean? But that's what happens every time you guys ask me, like, yo, why don't you play these videos and whatnot? Because a lot of times I've tried to do the video with the actual video, you know what I mean? But it gets blocked, so I just do the audio version, you know what I mean? So yeah, this is one of the cases I'm pre-doing it. I'm pre-doing it like this and whatnot, but with the video, because I couldn't find the audio version to it. Yeah, so let's go.
America, state and the president. With all due respect, I've got something to say to them. I just find it funny you can't give... Or let me remind you, just in case you've forgotten, that we live in Great Britain, not in Donald Trump's America. Speaking of America, state and the president. With all due respect, I've got something to say to them. I just find it funny you can't give a hand to Palestine, but you can trade whole arms with Saudi Arabia.
Woo! I ain't saying nothing, man. I ain't saying nothing, man. Let's go.
Look, I got a question for the new Prime Minister. At Grenfell Tower, your response was ridiculous. You hid like a coward behind your 5 million. Dodge responsibility.
He said, you hid like a coward with your 5 billion. What? Let's go.
Look, I got a question for the new Prime Minister. At Grenfell Tower,
I know I said great UK. I don't know if Great Britain and UK is the same place, because I'm from the US and whatnot, and we often freaking put our mouths in her foot, in our mouth, our hands in her ass, or I don't know what the fuck the impression is. I can't think about it right now, but like, yo, I don't want to put my foot in my mouth and whatnot. So I said UK in the beginning, but he said Great Britain in the verses and whatnot. So I don't know if it's the same thing, so I'll just say Great Britain now. Yeah, because he's from Great Britain. Just wanted to keep that clear, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people be schooling me, and when I catch shit in the video, I just like to freaking correct myself. Let's go.
response was ridiculous. You hid like a coward behind your 5 million. Dodge responsibility and acted like you're innocent. And I can see you're terrified. You're not good at telling lies. I'm getting why you stay away from everything that's televised. You look like a robot and you don't speak with any life. It feels to me like any guy.
He said, man, you look like a robot. You don't speak with any life. That means like you're the way one, you could take it one way, you know what I mean? He doesn't care about what he's saying, or he's being told what to say and he's acting robotically, you know what I mean? Like he has no feelings attached to this shit, you know what I mean? So those are the two ways that you could take it, and those are two ways that I take it, you know what I mean?
Press could have said them lines. Imagine going to the council for the safety of your block and you got kids but they're ignoring you at every time. Everyone who knew about that cladding should really be going to prison under rule of joint enterprise. But if it ain't a little kid with a knife, I bet that judge is going easy when he's giving him time. They don't deserve to be free. Any builder MP that knew about the conditions but did it to save cheese. When I listened to the things that the residents had seen, I was so shocked I couldn't even speak. Families, they know that had died in their sleep. How you choke on the smoke when you're struggling to breathe, the glow from the fire, the panic when you hear all the sirens. To the scene, I was so shocked I couldn't even speak. Families, they know that had died in their sleep. How you choke on the smoke when you're struggling to breathe, the glow from the fire.
That's deep right there. I gotta rewind that shit again, man. That shit is deep.
When I listened to the things that the residents had seen, I was so shocked I couldn't.
He said, when I listen to the things that the residents has seen, you know what I mean? Meaning, like, I think the people that went through this shit, you know what I mean, had seen. I mean, we listen. I think you guys listened to the whole thing, so I'm gonna break the shit down a lot because the shit The shit catch me like on the side, like what he was saying and shit. You know what I mean? So let's go.
Speak. Families, they know that I died in their sleep. How you choke on the smoke when you.
He said families had died when they are asleep and shit. How it feels when you choke on smoke.
Struggling to breathe, the glow from the fire.
And when you're struggling to you struggling to you wake up freaking struggling to breathe and shit because the smoke is freaking caught up in your throat and shit, and you got flames all around you, and you got the light from the flames. Imagine seeing that shit before you die. That's fucking creepy.
The panic when you hear all the sirens, the crackling, the popping.
And he puts you there too, because he doesn't just go there alone, because he's like, people have told him these things, and he's like, yo, you also hear the sirens from outside and whatnot, you know what I mean? And all these types of factions going on all at the same time, and you're in fear, and you're trying to freaking get out at the same time. This is heartbreaking right here. You know what I mean? Let's go.
And the muffled out screams, the fear in the eyes of a man that was trapped who jumped 15 floors from the tower to the street.
He said a man that was trapped, he jumped 15 floors from his room to the streets.
Glow from the fire, the panic when you hear all the sirens, the crackling, the popping, and the muffled out screams, the fear in the eyes of a man that was trapped who jumped 15 floors from the tower to the street. I could only hear
from the tower to the street. And you know the thing about it is, he knows he's on the 15th floor. You know what I mean? The only reason that he jumps out that window is he doesn't want to die in that freaking flame of fire. You know what I mean? So he jumps and basically commits suicide, because there's no way you survive in that jump. You know what I mean? Let's go.
a fraction of the pain and the grief. Closing my eyes, trying hard not to cry at the joy and relief in the face of a man when a woman from the flat said his neighbor was alive. No help from the council in keeping any list or the people that survived, his neighbors and peers. And for that whole meeting I could see that he was trying, so his smile was an island in a sea full of tears. Look, I got a message for our old Prime Minister, David Cameron. I mean, you fucked us, resigned and sneaked out the firing line. I wanna know how you managed it. And are you bathing in the sun while the papers have a run at the woman that you left here to handle it? You're gonna teach your little lad to be the man.
He said, yo, man, while you bathing in the sun and the female that you left here to handle it. You guys know, I don't know that much about the politics over there, but like you guys know, I wonder how you guys feel about that type of shit happening and whatnot, how when shit gets serious and whatnot, the prime minister just ups and leaves and whatnot and puts somebody else in charge to take care of the situation. That's the biggest form of cowardness that I've ever heard of in my life, man. It's kind of sad, you know what I mean? Let's go.
That's got a plan, and in the moment that it fails to abandon it. Are there bullies in his school? And when you pick him up after class, can you feel his embarrassment? I mean, you never gave.
Sorry, I gotta rewind that shit.
You're gonna teach your little lad to be the man that's got a plan, and in the moment that it fails to abandon it. Are there bullies in his school? And when you pick him up after class, can you feel his embarrassment? I mean, you never gave a fuck about the youth, and that's the truth, there's no sympathy.
He said, yo, man, you never gave a fuck about the youth, and that's the truth, you know what I mean? Yeah, man, I mean, like, and that's what it is. Like, it's like, somebody, you could be the biggest bullshit artist in the world and whatnot, but sooner or later people see right through your bullshit, you know what I mean, because of your actions, you know what I mean? Actions mean everything, and it leaks out of a motherfucker that don't give two shits, you know what I mean? And that's a fact. Let's keep it going, man. That's what he's basically saying in this shit, right? You don't care about the kids. Don't even try to act it. We already know about that. Let's go.
You or your cabinet. I really wish I could have seen how you were scrambling when you lost the referendum that you had to win. I feel like politicians are all addicts in a big fat game, but it's lives that you gamble with. I got
Yo. Yo, let me rewind that, man, cause let's go, man.
Seen how you were scrambling when you lost the referendum that you had to win. I feel like politicians are all addicts in a big fat game, but it's lives that you gamble.
Yo, I feel like politicians are addict in a game that they gambling, but it's lives that they gambling with. You know what I mean? I, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Like, you know, I'm big into football and whatnot, and a lot of times when I watch TV and shit, and I watch the news and I watch the CNNs and NBCs and Fox and shit, it looks like I'm watching a football game. You know what I mean? Because the analyst analyzes shit just like if you was watching a football game. Oh, somebody won this point, and somebody won this point. This politician said this shit. He was right. Who do you think is right? This, that, and next. But what they keep on what they always miss is shit. All this freaking talk that they talking about who's right about this, and they talking about billions, $100 here, millions of dollars here. What they keep on missing is these are real people's lives that they're talking about. They debating and they doing that type of shit where they gonna put the money, and they do understand that, yo. Okay, if we don't freaking invest in this shit, there will be people that die off of that shit. They do understand that they're gambling with people's lives. So I just wish they were like a little bit more responsible with the actions that they take when it comes down to making decisions on the behalf of the citizens. You know what I mean? Wherever they might be. You know what I mean? And when I say this, I'm talking about every politician, whatever freaking side you're on, you know what I mean? Just take care of the business that you need to take on properly, and make sure you remember these are people that you are freaking talking about, not just numbers. Let's keep it moving, man. Let's go.
I've got a question for the leader of the Labour Party, Jeremy Corbyn. Where do you want to take the country to? Honestly, I want to put my trust in you, but you can understand why if I've got trust issues. Do you really have the faith of your party? Do you?
And the way that he's talking here, he's like, yo, man, on some real shit, man. I want to have trust in this new Labour person. Let me rewind and so I could get the person's name, so I don't just say this Labour person.
You lost the referendum that you had to win. I feel like politicians are all addicts in a big fat game, but it's lives that you gamble with. I've got a question for the leader of the Labour Party, Jeremy Corbyn. Where do you want to take the country?
Jeremy Corbyn, you know what I mean? What he's saying here is like, yo, let me see.
Country too. Honestly, I want to put my trust in you, but you can understand why if I've got.
Okay, so he's basically saying like, yo, honestly, yo, I want to freaking put my trust in you, but on some real shit. Every time I really feel like something is gonna happen different for the country, for the betterment of the country and everything, it feels like I'm being slapped on the side of my face or whatnot. And the reason why I know that shit and whatnot, I've been feeling that way myself. Every freaking year there's a politician that tells me something that sounds freaking roses and shit, and it turns out to be some fuckery. You know what I mean? So I feel exactly what the fuck he's talking about. You know what I mean? Let's go.
Trust issues. Do you really have the faith of your party? Do you really have faith in the party that will come with you? And how do you plan on keeping all the promises? Man, if I'm being honest, sir, I'm struggling to get with it. I just ain't getting it. Everybody's great until you get them into office, and then guys start forgetting things.
Yes, man. Everybody's great until they get into the office. Shit get murky. You know what I mean? Shit get like all this shit is funny, man. Yo, man, this dude is on point right here, man. It's a fact, yo. All this shit the motherfuckers be talking before they in the office and shit. It's like, yo, it just get flipped upside down and shit. It's just like they never do exactly what they say they gonna do. You know what I mean? And I don't understand the reason why. And I guess like once you get into the system and shit, and once you win that seat, or when you get that desk and shit, you start realizing the shit that you was trying to freaking get done and whatnot, can't be freaking done because motherfuckers, I don't know, man. The hole is too fucking deep to freaking handle and shit. And you realize you just one man, and you got to work against the system and shit. You know what I mean?
Proof to us you're different. Don't promise me anything. Go and get justice for Sean, Charles and Edison. And if you haven't had the thought to vote yet or protest because you don't really see the progress, I hope you know that what they're saying is affecting us. The small steps are way better than no steps.
Small steps are more better than no steps. Okay.
And if you haven't had the thought to vote yet or protest because you don't really see the progress, I hope you know that what they're saying is affecting us. The small steps are way better than no steps.
Let me stop it right here. Anyways, yo, definitely a dope ass track. You know what I mean? He gets into it. You know what I mean? And I'm feeling it. You know what I mean? I'm feeling the fact that it's raw. I'm feeling the fact that he's talking about problems within his community, within his freaking country and shit, and that needs to be solved. And the only way that we are ever gonna solve the issues that we have if we talk about it and if we put the freaking problem out in the forefront. You know what I mean? And that's what he's doing here, and I give him like 150% respect for that. I feel that energy, you know what I mean? And basically that's pretty much it, you know what I mean? Guys, if you feeling the vibes like I'm feeling the vibes, you know what I mean? You just tell me, man. Put it down there in the comment section all day long. How do you guys feel about the way I did this video? I really need to know, because I want to know if I should do more videos like this or go back to the way I used to do the videos before. You know what I mean? Because I have a lot of people freaking always complaining about the sound quality and things of that nature. So explain to me, tell me how the sound sounds and all that type of stuff and all that beautiful stuff. Find a way to freaking hook it up a little bit better. Last but not least and whatnot, if you guys want to request any tracks or any type of freaking videos, you already know, man. Put it down in the comment section all day long. All day to the long and whatnot. Last but not least and whatnot, this is my motherfucking thumb right here, you know what I mean? I want you to take your thumb and put it all the way up there to the motherfucking sky. All the way up there. All the way up there. All the way up to the top, man, with the thumbs up, man. Another way you guys can show me some love and support and whatnot is subscribing to the channel right down there. Right down there, ladies and gentlemen, you know what I mean? Right down there. That's pretty much it, you know what I mean? I'm going to check you guys out next time on the next video. Peace out, one love, fam, and I'm out.